yeah. Come on. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, and this is another Boston Certified Hood Classic. Today I'm going to be taking a pair of shoes out of a box and telling you what I think of them. We are talking about these, the Action Bronson 990 V6 in the Amazonia colorway. In classic sneakernomics fashion, this review is coming to you not early. No, that would be too easy. This one's coming late. It wouldn't have actually come at all were I not maybe a little bit fortunate. You see, this sneaker, in keeping with a lot of recent releases, has come out several times. They first released through raffle via Action Bronson's own specialized website called Specializing in Life, I think. Then they had a subsequent release on the New Balance website, and then the retailers have been getting their pairs for which they have been running raffles, and at least here in the UK, pairs didn't even go on the raffles. There was stock left over, and pairs have been sitting on various retailers' websites. I checked a couple of nights ago whether or not there were any pairs out there, couldn't find my size, and then the next morning I had another look and a pair in my size UK 9.5 turned up, so I copped them from End. They shipped the next day and here we are. I've got to admit, I've been after a pair of New Balance 990 V6s for a while now. You know how most New Balances tend to look more or less the same and sort of sound the same with the whole number makeup? This particular pair really suits my eye. It's the low top silhouette, it's the chunky midsole, it's the mesh, it's the whole vintage throwback runner silhouette that really attracts me. But because this particular pair is a made in USA pair, the retail price point on them is kind of crazy. They do sometimes hit the outlets and go on sale, but I've been waiting around for a special pair to try to get my hands on, and I felt like this was the pair to go for. Action Bronson is the man for New Balance right now. This is his second collaboration on this particular model, the 990 V6. You guys will remember back in 2023, he made some headlines collaborating with two different colorways on the same model. In fact, a lot of people were holding up the green pair as one of the sneakers of the year in 2023. He's come back in 2025 with two really nice colorways. This Amazonia colorway, and then another colorway called Untitled, which I think is a little bit scarcer. So the packaging is pretty basic. You've got a big blue lids with the Baklava branding on the top. The rest of the box is brown and simple. When you open up the box, you get the Baklava branded paper. And then onto the shoes themselves, which definitely in hand feel like a very well-made shoe with very nice quality materials. When it comes to the panels and the stitching and the craftsmanship, you can definitely tell that an extra level of attention to detail went into crafting this shoe. In terms of the materials, right around the bottom, you've got a series of different hairy suede panels featuring in this sort of light tan type colorway. It was really nice, and the stitching on the suede is really on point. You've also got this deep blue sort of perforated leather overlay that intersects with some of the other materials on the upper. This highlighter pink type mesh underlay gives the shoe this massive contrast that really makes them pop. And then you've got some silver synthetic overlays. You've got a turquoise suede patch running down the eyelets, mesh tongue and liner, which features in a sort of deep red. More silver accents with the co-branding on the tongue, featuring the New Balance logo and the Baklava branding. Around the back, you've got the little plastic gray tab featuring the Made in USA branding. You get some red laces with a little bit of black integrated in them. And then you get this big chunky midsole with a couple of shades of gray, darker shade of gray at the front and a much lighter shade of gray at the back. Also get a little bit of white on the bottom of the midsole, and it's the Incap Fuel Cell New Balance technology. The outsole features a little bit of black as well as a little bit of translucent action on the forefoot. Got the custom New Balance insole with the lime green New Balance Baklava co-branding. Overall, the quality control is fantastic and the colorway is dope. It's perfectly in keeping with Bronson's aesthetic, which is a little bit of a blend and a mixture of these subtle brown earthy tones and then these bright sort of fluorescent type colors. Really nice mashup. In terms of the fits and the feel, I got a US 10.5 or a UK 9.5, which is for me right about true to size, and these fit bang on. They're really light, they're really comfortable. They are a shoe that I actually wouldn't hesitate to go out for a run-in. The midsole is really nice and squishy with a decent amount of forgiveness. They are really stable. The mesh material affords a nice bit of breathability. So this is pretty much the ideal casual shoe that could potentially function as a makeshift runner if you really wanted them to. Now, when it comes to Action Bronson, I do feel like he is one of New Balance's strongest collaborative partners at the moment. He has a huge social media following that he's built up through his work as a rapper and as a television host. He's in the business of collaborating with a lot of the big names out there in popular culture. And at least for me, I kind of dig his look and his aesthetic and his outlook on life. He loves his fitness, he loves his working out, he loves his food, he loves his rapping. And to me, his style or his look is something that I can get on board with, because he seems to perpetually be in gym clothes, which is pretty much the way I like to live my life. Just always in comfortable clothes, always ready to work out or do something physical. And so the idea of matching these up with some shorts and a hoodie or a t-shirt to me is absolutely fantastic. So where would I rank these among his collaborations to date? Well, obviously because I have them in hand and they're the only pair of his that I have, I would have to rank them at the top. No. I do think this is a strong colorway. I do like the green pair, and I do like the other pair that came out alongside these, the Untitled colorway. The blue pair is also really nice as well. But I don't know, something about this model, quality, the versatility, the wearability, makes it a really strong shoe in my opinion. I'm really happy to have these in hand. I'm gonna be banging these around this summer for sure. In terms of the resale and stuff like that, look, there are still going to be pairs of these floating around in the smaller sizes. You might even come across a return if you're in one of your local sneaker boutiques that carried this type of stock, as resellers return them because there's no bread to be made on these. Even the other pair is not reselling for anything too crazy at the minute. The green pair from 2023 is reselling for quite a bit of bread, as well as the blue pair as well, to be fair. Those things have crept up a bit. So I guess if you were thinking about holding on to these shoes to resell in a few years, yeah, you could potentially make some money, but why would you do that, man? Wear them, they're so comfy. In terms of collectability, yeah, it's a good shoe to have in the collection for sure. I do have a couple of other New Balance collabs in the collection that I really like. The 1906R Amélion d'Ors. Love this pair, wear this pair a lot. Also got the Armine 740s. This is a pair I haven't actually worn as much as I would have liked to have, but again, another strong collab. And so I feel like these are gonna be right at home next to those other collabs. Honestly, is Action Bronson on top in terms of New Balance collaborators? Can you think of anyone else that is doing the business better than him right now for the brand? There are definitely some close rivals, people like Joe Freshgoods or people like Salehi Bamberry, but I don't know, he's definitely in the conversation for sure. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Very cool shoe. Price point at £240 is a little bit steep, but that's the price you got to pay for the whole made in USA joints. Get used to those types of prices if these tariffs come into effect very soon. So what do you guys think? You guys feeling the Amazonia New Balances? Let me know if you feel like Action Bronson is on top right now. And don't forget to like the video before you bounce. And be sure to go over and chuck me a follow on IG, because I have some exciting giveaways going down very, very soon. See you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.